நமது மதிப்பிற்குரிய தேசிய தலைவர் திரு jpnadda ஜி அவர்களை இந்த அருமையான விழாவின் சிறப்புரை விழா பேருரை ஆற்ற அன்புடன் அழைக்கிறோம்.
The Governor of Eastern Province, Sri Lanka, and the President of CWC Party, my dear colleague, Excellency Sri Senthil Thondamanji, my State President of Tamil Nadu, and my colleague Sri K. Annamalaiji, former Minister and former President and presently the Minister in the Government of India, Sri L. Muruganji, our very senior leader, Sri Pon Radhakrishnanji, our very senior leader and former President of Tamil Nadu BJP, Sri H. Rajaji, Sri V.P. Durai Swamiji, and my friend Vijay Chauthaiwalaji, who takes care of the international affairs, and the Sri Lankan Acting High Commissioner, Srimati Priyanka Vikram Singhaji, and DG Postal Services, Srimati Smita Kumarji, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, who are all present in this august house, and friends from the media, print media and electronic media. It is indeed a matter of great opportunity for me, and it is also a matter of great happiness that today we are remembering the year 1823 and commemorating with the stamp of the Indian origin of Tamils who had gone to Sri Lanka 200 years back. We have just now seen a short film. The film itself is self-explanatory and self-illustrative. We have seen how 200 years back people from Trichy, from Tanjavur, from Madurai, from Shiv Ganga, people had migrated to Sri Lanka at that point of time. And we all know that Britishers had their own intentions at that point of time. They had encouraged the Sri Lankans, the Tamilians, to migrate, to go to Sri Lanka, because they had started in the early 19th century, they had started the economic activities there, and they wanted people to work there in the fields. And at that point of time, the Britishers encouraged the Tamilians, the other Indian origin Tamils who went there, as working in the fields. We have seen how they had to struggle for nearly a century and a half, and the struggle was really painful. When we saw the movie, it made us emotional also. How 200 years back our people who were illiterate, who did not know what is good for them, who did not understand what is good for their families, but they took a risk and they were enticed by the Britishers at that point of time, and they went to Sri Lanka. They faced many hardships at that point of time, hardships in the sense of human dignity, hardships in terms of health, hardships in terms of livelihood, hardship in terms of living, hardship in terms of the standard of living. All those hardships they had to face. And we all know that all forefathers had to face this only to see a brighter future. They took all those risks. But as you know, that things do not remain static, it is dynamic, things change. the sense of revolution, the sense of evolution came among the Tamil people of the Indian origin. They started asking for their rights. They started asking for the facilities which were there, they needed. We all know that in terms of health, they had to face tuberculosis, they had to face cholera, they had to face smallpox, they had to face chicken pox. All types of diseases were there. And huge high rate of the mortality was also there. So the labor force at that point of time, the working classes came together and they galvanized themselves and they started talking about their rights. And slowly everybody, the Indian origin Tamils, were aware about their rights. They wanted to have a better living. And we all know that when 1947, when Sri Lanka also became independent, we were given the citizenship right at that point of time, but the ethnic group, the Indian origin of Tamils, were not given the franchise right. It was in 1964, that through stages we were able to get the right for franchise and as unequal citizens in Sri Lanka. So there has been a long struggle. And today, when we commemorate with a stamp of remembering the first Indian origin Tamil reaching the Sri Lankan soil, it really makes us happy to see that how we have grown, and we also see the history. This is an occasion when we have to look positive, but also remember the history. This is an occasion when we should start with a positive note, but at the same time, we should remember how our forefathers had to face the pain, how they had to struggle, how they had to see the hardships, how they had to fight for their livelihood, because that is the foundation which has given us the strength to stand up today as a proud Indian origin Tamil there in Sri Lanka. I would also like to share with you, which Nirmala Sitharamanji in the short film has very rightly said, that when Prime Minister Modi came as the Prime Minister in 2014, at that point of time, we started a positive note. And when I talk about positive note, it was not complaining. It was not asking something, what did somebody do or what did somebody not do. But it came with a positive note when Prime Minister Modi said, look here, now India will be there for all-out help for the Indian origin Tamils there in Tamil Nadu. He is the first Prime Minister, correct me if I am wrong, to visit Jaffna. He is the first Prime Minister. In 2017, he made a visit to Jaffna. He went by, if I remember, he went by train. He also travelled in the train. And he assured that we will give you 4,000 Pakka houses. And today we can say that 4,000 plus 10,000 Pakka houses was assured, and that is being given to the people. And after a long time, the Indian origin Tamils got the opportunity to live with dignity there in Sri Lanka. I am also happy to share with you that Prime Minister Modi, when I went to Sri Lanka in one of the meetings there, which was a Commonwealth Health Ministers Conference, if I remember, or it was regarding tuberculosis that I went there, tuberculosis issue when I went there to Sri Lanka, Prime Minister Modi asked me at that point of time that I have given which we call it as the Glencorn Hospital, which is the largest hospital in the province. See how it is coming up, and now I can say that the largest hospital has also come up. And Prime Minister Modi ji believes in continuity he believes that with continuity we have also to see to it that new developments take place and we have to strengthen our bilateral relationship with Sri Lanka. So we are working on that with a positive note, continuity of the relationship, making it more meaningful, strengthening the bilateral relationship and supporting each other for the development. I remember the Sagar 9 mission which took place during COVID times. We can say that at that point of time, India also gave some 12 lakh vaccines for corona at that point of time. Not only that, we as neighbors, it is our responsibility to see that we help each other in time of crisis. And so, keeping that factor in view, the Prime Minister Modi believes that the bilateral relationship with Sri Lanka should be strengthened, and at the same time, the Indian origin Tamils should feel that India is always emotionally and physically with them to support and give them a hand. Not taking much of your time, today it is again a very historic moment to remember the past 200 years, the ups and downs, the good things and the bad things, and also to remember that we have to learn from the bad things and do the good things. So we have to start with a positive note, and of course, with we all together, we will certainly see to it that the relationship with Sri Lanka is more deepened, more strengthened, and at the same time, our Tamilian friends who are there residing will be having a more share in the development of Sri Lanka. Thank you very much for giving me.